Hi everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. Today it is kind of a catch-all studio. So we got back late last night from the Stampin' Up trip to Walt Disney World, and it was a whirlwind. I didn't take anything to work on. My week before we left was completely upended. My father got a difficult diagnosis, and while I was gone, my siblings transferred him to a rehab center. So as soon as I'm done, I unpacked all of our bags. I'm gonna wait for laundry till I get home, but I am gonna run over and visit him at the new place where he's staying. And so I'm trying to kind of figure out what this weekend entails for me. But as I got this stuff out, I thought I can at least show you what I got. I didn't post very many pictures because in the new kind of world that we live in that has all kinds of weird laws and rules, there is a law that when you earn a trip from this thing that we're not even allowed to really call a job, that you have to post all this legal stuff, and I don't like posting it. So I tend to just make one giant thing, so I just have to post it once. So I will post maybe a couple of different things on Facebook, but just one blog thing. So I just have to say it once because I don't even like saying it. But I'm going to show you some of the things I got. I am going to show you my swaps at the end because I haven't even looked at them. I flipped through them quickly. If you watched my swap video, then you know I didn't make an extra one for me because that was going to be the one that I filmed. The one extra, it wasn't necessarily going to be mine, but I ran out of time to make it. I have all the parts still sitting here, so all the pieces I was going to use. So if I get time, I'll make one, which seems kind of silly at this point. So Stampin' Up did have an incentive trip to Walt Disney World, and we stayed at the Grand Floridian, which is grand. It's not someplace we probably as a family would have stayed. We have stayed at some of the nicer resorts at Walt Disney World. We are a Disney family. We do, well, I say we, and which is true. My husband and I went, there was a year, the incentive trip, I don't even remember where it was supposed to be, someplace in the Caribbean, and it was during 2020, and that trip got canceled, and they gave us a generous stipend instead of the trip. You can always get a cash out if you can't make the trip, but this was more money since nobody could make the trip that year, and we chose to use our money that year to go to Disney, the two of us. So it's not something that we wouldn't do, but my daughter is the Disney fan. But that year we stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is one of our favorites. We've stayed there a couple of times. We also like the cabins at Fort Wilderness. We love the cabins at Fort Wilderness. And then sometimes we've stayed at the lower end resorts because when you go with my daughter, you never see the resort. And this time I thought maybe because we had a 13-week-old with us, we might see a bit more of the resort, but we were at some of the parks, so we were the last people on the street at night, so we got pictures of empty streets. So that didn't. So let me just kind of go through. So I had these up because these were our itinerary, and I wanted you to see the theming because the Grand Floridian is themed. Rooms are beautiful. I will put some of the photos that I took of the room. The attention to detail is phenomenal. The light bulbs on the chandeliers are the little penguins. Here's the carousel, but it's all very like these are the colors of the resort. So Stampin' Up with all of our theming here. You get a pen every time you earn a trip. So here's like the Mary Poppins theme. So the resort was themed that way, and then everything that Stampin' Up gave us, you can see is themed that way. So you can see the umbrellas, the penguins, the hats, the umbrellas, all very Mary Poppins. And then I have this here. My allergies are back. Different allergies in there. But I had this because you're staying someplace nice when the tissues and the toilet paper, where is it? It's harder to see in this light, are embossed with the G and the F for the Grand Floridian. So like I said, the attention to detail, you couldn't tell where the closets were because they were inside the wall. The hairdryer couldn't find it the first morning because it was inside a wood box and it was a chrome hairdryer. So everything nice, huge. The room was huge by hotel standards. And then I was going to put this back together. We got luggage tags before we left, and they were this harder felt, which is really on trend right now. And so they were felt and they were scalloped all the way around. This is a large bag, as you see, but it folded down to go back into our luggage. I don't think I posted a picture of it. Sometimes you can't remember what you posted, what you saw your friends posting. It was filled with, in our rooms, filled with snacks to take into the park and drinks, so you could not have to starve. We never starved. And then they did give us a generous stipend for buying any of the food that you wanted. You know, Disney's the only place that you can go and have ice cream for breakfast. There was more than one day when we had ice cream more than one time, but you can eat to your heart's desire and walk. We walked so much, even with the baby, walked and walked and walked. So I ate anything I wanted, and I still lost weight while we were there. So it's a, it's a great little plan. So we, lots of things come Mickey shaped. So this was a Mickey Rice Krispie treat. So Stampin' Up has a hospitality room. There were the Mickey Rice Krispie treats. There were the Mickey ice cream sandwiches. There were Mickey ice cream pops, which I had never had. The Mickey ice cream, like chocolate covered ice cream. I'd never had them because, it's chocolate covered ice cream. It was better than the shake I'd had earlier. I guess I'd had it the day before, because I did have the ice cream at the ice cream bar for my breakfast, and I'm not ashamed about it. So that was that. They did give us 2 days at the park, and then you could 2 days at whichever park you chose. And there was some breakfast buffets included. The first breakfast buffet had the most delicious scrambled eggs. Who knew that scrambled eggs could be so delicious? So that was fun. You got to pick the 2 parks. And then I let my family choose one experience that I did for them. And so, well, I say my family. Whenever I say my family, it's my daughter. So she chose, we talked about going to Epic Universe, but then in the end, she's a Disney girl. So we did the Disney After Dark. So if you stayed at a deluxe resort, then you could stay at the park till midnight, which meant we were walking out like at 12:30 with the baby again on the empty streets. But we got some cool pictures because we were the only people in there. So the first day there was a mix and mingle, and you could just drop in. There was lots of snacks. You could do some crafts. One is you could make your own ears, but I had brought my ears. My daughter has a whole wall of ears at her house, so she had lots of different ears, but making your ears was fun. That day you could make ears. Oh, we had t-shirts. I should have brought my t-shirt. We didn't end up wearing ours, but we did have matching t-shirts. And then we always have a kickoff meeting where they demo some stuff. I happened to win a door prize. They don't always do door prizes. I think that was like a Disney thing that they did. That bag is popping back open, but I won this. And the funny thing is my daughter has it. She doesn't have the plates though, so she was telling me she didn't have the plates. I think that might have been a little bit of a, if you don't want the plates, I'll take the plates. So a little charcuterie. So it was fun to win a door prize. I don't often win door prizes, so that was fun. It was also heavy to put back in the luggage. And we fly Southwest, which has always been, 2 bags free. This was the last trip where we got the 2 bags free. But so we did it with 1 bag each to see how we went, and then brought some extra bags. So then some of this stuff, there is a new suite, and I have put the new suite up on my business Facebook page, so you can go see it. I happened to spin a wheel. So the first day I always get the cups. I have so many cups, but we did use it. So the first day I spun the wheel, I got a cup. The second day, it was all parts of the suite, and I got the stamp set, and I can't wait to use it. It's a beautiful suite. So if you're a demonstrator, you can pre-order from this online exclusive suite in June. For customers, it'll be available in July, and it is beautiful. The paper and the ribbon are stunningly beautiful, and you can see it, like I said, on my Facebook page. And then this was a spin the wheel, and I think it's on my Facebook page too, and it is coming in the holiday catalog. So in September. It's a humongous tree. Don't you love the size of that tree? And then the dies, you can see there is a deer. The dies have deer that go with. And then I know it looks like I'm having pizza. This is a new kit that comes out in June. So everybody can get this kit in June. But it's got, because this is a nice size box, before you see the actual kit, that's coming in June. I've put other stuff in here to get safe while we were traveling. So this is also a holiday catalog, so September for everybody. And I know I took pictures of it. I spread all this stuff on the bed and took pictures because I knew once I got home, time would be more precious than it was, you know, when you have somebody that's 13 weeks old and they're eating, you have some downtime. So I spread it all out on the bedspread. It wasn't the best backdrop, but it was what it was. So here is the one side of the paper. And then here are the punch outs, the little die cuts. And then I'll flip it over to the other side. Two here. I love some gingham. Here's the other side. And the fun thing about this is because we all got different things. Some people got the note cards and envelopes. I can't remember what the other prize option was for this one. Note cards and envelopes. Oh, the full pack of just die cuts, like the ones that have the words. But because everybody won different things, if you go look at some other people that went on the trip, you're going to see some of the other sneak peeks. We don't get to see a catalog. It's too far out. And then next year is Alaska. So when I go to Alaska, that is also in May. Then the following year, it is in Costa Rica, and that trip is in April. So the timing of that will be pre-order for the, so you can see the theming again. That's Mary Poppins. So this is just an exclusive. We're the only people that will get it, and it is to scrapbook our photos. So here again is the Mary Poppins and Grand Floridian colors and imagery from the resort. So we can scrapbook those. Of course, they gave us stuff last year when we went to Eschekere, and I did put them in the scrapbook. Last year they actually gave us a scrapbook. I put it in there, and I got the pictures printed. So then, if you were staying in one of the rooms, then this was how they knew to put your goodies in your room, because there would be stuff in your room sometimes. And then here are just some little Polaroids. There was a big wall of rings, and then again the stuff that matches the scrapbook paper. So there's my family. And then here is the one that everybody can get in June. I haven't even opened it. So this is called Make a Memory Scrapbooking Kit. For those of you that have bought a scrapbooking workshop kit, which I have bought one, but I haven't used it. And it was a while ago, so of course now it's retired. This is not a scrapbooking workshop kit. This one has ideas, but then it's all pieces. It opens. So you can see it has tear and tape as the adhesive. So it's all inclusive as far as not needing an adhesive. If you prefer a different adhesive, then you can just save that for a 3D project. So here are, it held up pretty well in traveling because this was in a suitcase. It does have some of these fun adhesives that I never use. If I'm going to do any of these kits, I'm going to spring for some adhesive because I am too impatient to use them. So it has all these fun pieces. It's great for your spring pictures that you just took. It can also be used for card making. So if you're like, I don't scrapbook, which I scrapbook some. I have a huge guilt factor associated with scrapbooking because I feel like I'm always behind. So you may see me break this open and show you a few cards with it. Because look at how much stuff you get. Look at this giant stack of paper. I don't know how many sheets it is, but it's a lot. So let's start here at the top. I can tell this is paper. I don't know if it's double-sided. No, it's single-sided paper because it's intended to in a scrapbook. And then here are some die cuts, some more paper, some more die cuts. The other thing that I do like to do, so maybe I'll try that with this, is make an actual scrapbook. And that was what I used to do a long time ago when Stampin' Up had far more scrapbooking options, was instead of make a whole like page by page by page, because I never can keep up, was I would pick an event, like going to Disney, and I would just cut this up, and I had a little you know, thing that would make the holes. And I would just make this into its own mini scrapbook and just get the pictures in there from one event. But this does have ideas, and I did take pictures of it, so I will try to get those on my Facebook page or my blog, so you can see the finished product with those. Stick those in those. Those will end up on my other scrapbook page. We didn't take a ton of pictures. It was hot. You know, I love heat, so I was not dying, but it was warm, especially when you're on concrete. So here are my swaps. I never want to separate the names from the cards, and I have not looked at them. I only looked to see if I got my swap. And always funny story, you know, you're like, who would like this stamp set? Sometimes you're looking at the catalog and you're like, why? And then you have somebody that's a totally different age group than you, which is my daughter. And so she's like, oh, I hope you got this set. Because she has been a demonstrator back and forth several times, depending on what's going on in her life. And because she has a new baby, she is not currently a demonstrator. So she hasn't bought anything, you know, 13 weeks ago she had him. So there was a dragon that she hadn't really noticed. So let's see. This is made by one of our artisans. That's always fun. This is why I don't like to separate the names from. Plus, you know, I have the blog. So this is my blog, a video to show them how I made mine. And so if I want to go back and see how she did this fun fold, I don't want to lose who did it from how they did it. So here's this one. And there can always be a fun fold, and you don't know if it's a fun fold unless you take it out. I think that's just a regular one. Here in Card Club, we recently used that paper. This may be a fun fold. Oh, how sweet. And the other thing is when you go on the trips, you get a lot of the ones with other languages, because there's lots of demonstrators from other countries. This looks like it may be a fun fold. So you bring 26 and you get 25 back, because one goes on the boards. And I will post the pictures of the boards. My daughter actually took those for me. She likes taking pictures of the boards. Is it sealed or is it folded? If I could have packed these on the plane, right? And I could have done this to see what was what. Beautiful color combination. This is a fun fold. Oh, it's super cute. One of the things I have to finish up today is the last 2 cards for Try It class. But my husband can't cut paper tonight because he has to cut our grass before our neighbors are like, what the heck's happening over there? It's spring, you know, so it grows really quickly. Another fun fold. Trying to stack them up so they don't. Rouge there. That one's cute. I don't know, maybe my daughter took the one that she wanted. I thought it was on top. I didn't get the sailboat set, and I have gotten some really good swaps with it. I think I showed you one after Hobart, maybe. I can't remember if that all happened, if I showed it to you before or if I intended, and then I got the news about my dad. Oh, come on. And some of these I don't remember now if I have showed you how to use them or if they're all, this is fun. Look, that text under there. That's very clever. I like that one. or if some of them have just, I've just made the projects for Try It class. Oh, that's cute too. This one, I feel like I have a card made that I never got around to filming, but I did do it for Try It. Oh, it's the dragon that she's like, oh, I hope you have this. And I do not. I haven't placed an order in so many days. And when we walked in the door with all of our luggage, there is a mountain of Stampin' Up boxes. I think it's mostly club stuff, like all of your paper and all of your stamp sets and all of your stuff, all of your embellishments and ribbons, which, you know, are boxes and boxes of stuff. But I was like, oh, laundry, groceries, dad, and boxes of stuff. How sweet is this one? Oh, that is so cute. That is adorable. Let's see who this is. This is Rosemary Gonzalez. Rosemary, you knocked it out of the park. That is adorable. And when I know how much work it took, I glued a lot of stuff on mine too. If you watched the thing, it was a lot of gluing and gluing and gluing. And so I salute you, because I know that when you have lots of pieces on your swap cards, towards the end, you're like, why did I do this? So this is the one my daughter loves. This is Tracy Bauer. So I'm going to photograph this, and then I'll pass this on to my daughter when I get the stamp set. And I will get the stamp set, then I will use it for a video or two, and then I'll pass it on to her, because she was like, this is the cutest. And there were some really cute samples. And because she took the pictures, I'm pretty sure we're going to have some close-ups of those of you that used it for your swaps. This is the, it coordinates really well with the embossing folder that goes with the cocktails. I don't remember, sips and tears, cheers and sips. It's, you know, you step away for a minute. Here it is again with the tags. And I loved the color combination with this tag, because most of the times that I've been seeing it, because it looks like a chalkboard, people have been using it in black and white, because it's a natural go-to, but I loved it with the bright colors. I also did not get this. Oh, cute. It's one of the ones that has a little square fold, and this one's more of a rectangle. That is super cute. Another turtle. And I have this one. It was the one I wanted to show you when I did it in my unboxing, and none of that happened. The box is this is as far as I got. I can see it, the box of stuff, all the new stuff that I got from my new catalog order, which was the day that we found out about my dad. It just got moved up here and it's sitting here. But this set is so beautiful, and I can't wait to show it to you, but it may be next week before that happens. And at this point, I have to get Club and Try It class out the door before I can just play around, because she colored the butterfly. Gorgeous. That is, let's see, Annie's. It is not a fun fold. Well, maybe just it goes long ways. Yeah. But look how this opens. Isn't that fun? Super cute little die. You're like, that's a lot of cards. And we know it's a lot of cards when you get to the end of stamping them. You're like, this is a lot of cards. This is the set I used, and I still have the offer. I don't know that if anything's sold out, but if you purchase the Beautiful Gallery, oh, this one doesn't have a name, set from me, then you get the class for free in June. Maybe a couple of days later in June than my original intent was. I typically don't work much in the summer. I just do club and videos, because I like to take a little bit of time off to enjoy my family and enjoy our pool and friends, and do some reading. It's the only time of the year that I read. And I brought a book, which, you know, I tossed around. Do I bring a book to Disney? Because you know you don't read at night. You just fall into bed. There were people there that were, you know, using the pools. This one has a name and things. But we have a pool, so. And my, we had a friend watch the house the first part of the trip, and then my niece watched the house the second part. My cats love her. But my nephew came over with her. They were using the pool. So it wasn't as tempting to sit in front of a pool that's just a pool. Maybe if it was a beach, like in Mexico, it was fabulous. It will be fabulous when it's in Costa Rica, I'm sure. But just to sit in a pool when you have a pool isn't quite that's the set that we're using. And I love this one I did see on the board. It is a fun fold. So I took the book and then I didn't read it. But then on the plane, on the way home, I made the mistake of starting it. And I'm like, why did you do this? I have a hard time not finishing. Oh, look at this. We may have to incorporate this fun fold with this frame into the class. I think I'll have to figure this out. What do you think? Because that is fun. Yes, we will do that. So if you're doing the class, I will figure that out and we'll do that. It's a good thing. Oh, I thought that was mine. I thought I didn't get mine. It's similar colors. Make sure that this isn't a fun fold. The one thing about this trip was because the mix and mingle was all day. Normally there's a welcome party, but because they wanted us to be able to get to the park the first day, and we got there super early. Our flight left super early, but we got there really early the first day, 8 in the morning, and our room was ready because I think they look at our Disney account and they're like, yeah, you guys are here a lot. And we're tied in with my brother on his account. My whole extended family shares the Disney account. It appears that we have somebody at Disney half the year probably. So they were very accommodating and we had a room ready as soon as we got there. But because of the way they did it, really the only time as a group we were together was for the meeting and that first breakfast. And then for the going away party, it was super cool. It was that Pandora at Animal Kingdom after dark. So it was only us. We had access to the rides and then there was food and stuff, but it was dark. So you didn't really see anybody, the people that you rode on the bus with. Okay, let's see see if I'm smart enough to figure this out. Looks like it's a Z fold. Yeah, there we go. So you didn't really, sometimes, you know, when you're on a cruise ship, you tend to see people a lot and there's a sailing time. So like when we went to Norway, there was sometimes when we played bingo, and where you could kind of sit around and talk to people. This was not that. This was, you maybe caught somebody at Pandora, saw some friends in line for the ride because there was only demonstrators there. But it was not any kind of networking or really any kind of catching up. Jill Taylor got to feed the baby. Sarah got to laugh with the baby. So we really saw Sarah and Jill more than anybody else. So, and Jill wasn't even there the whole time. So that's that. I am going to wrap this up and I will post it. There won't be a blog post right away. So head to my Facebook page because I do need to go see my dad. But I'll get a blog post up over the course of the next couple of nights. I did take the pictures, like I said, but I don't have pictures of these obviously because I wish my daughter was here because she would take the pictures for me, but she had to go back to work today. That's worse than this, right? So thanks for your support. For those of you that are my customers, it's because of you that I'm able to do things like this and able to call something that I love this much my line of work. And I can't wait to use this and to show it. And I will get started in the evenings this week. I will be cutting embellishments. I will be cutting ribbon. And after my husband cuts the grass, he will start cutting the paper. You know, a lot of the paper is actually cut, except for the things that I just got right before we left for the cards I have to design in. Try it. Cross our fingers. Will be in the mail next week, as will your card club. So have a great week, everybody. Bye.